The autumn wind whipped through the park like a whisper from forgotten dreams, carrying the scent of fallen leaves and distant rain. On a weathered wooden bench, etched with the graffiti of countless lives, sat an elderly man whose eyes held the weight of 80 winters' eyes that had seen wars end, loves fade, and stars fall. He turned to the young stranger rushing by, phone in hand, oblivious to the world, and with a voice cracked like old leather, said, "Son, stop for a moment. Look at the sky with me, and tell me what you see." The stranger, a man in his 30s named Alex, paused mid-stride, his hurried steps faltering. He was late for a meeting, his mind a whirlwind of emails and deadlines. But something in the old man's gaze raw, pleading pulled him back. Reluctantly, he sat down, glancing upward at the vast expanse of gray clouds swirling like unresolved regrets. "I see. Clouds. Just clouds," Alex muttered, checking his watch. But the old man smiled faintly, his wrinkled hands trembling as he pointed higher. But look closer. There's always more than meets the eye. My name's Elias, and I've been watching this sky for longer than you've been alive. Let me tell you why." Elias leaned back, his coat rustling against the bench, and began his tale with the ease of someone who had rehearsed it in solitude. He spoke of a boyhood in a small Midwestern town during the Great Depression, where the sky was the only thing vast enough to hold his dreams. "Back then," he said, his voice gaining strength, "the dust storms choked the air, turning day to night. But my father, a farmer with hands like tree roots, would take me outside and say, 'Elias, the sky remembers. It holds the stars even when we can't see 'em.' We'd lie on the parched earth, staring up, and he'd weave stories of constellations, Orion the hunter, chasing dreams across the heavens." Alex shifted uncomfortably, but the emotion in Elias's words tugged at him, reminding him of his own distant father, lost to time and arguments. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the park, Elias delved deeper. He recounted enlisting in World War II at 18, the sky over Normandy a canvas of fire and smoke. "I was just a kid, scared out of my wits," he confessed, his eyes misting. "Bombs fell like rain, and friends vanished in the blink. But one night, huddled in a foxhole, I looked up through the haze and saw a single star piercing the chaos. It reminded me of home, of promises unbroken. That star saved me. Sun gave me hope when death whispered close." Alex felt a knot in his throat. He had served a tour in Afghanistan, the memories buried deep, but Elias's words unearthed them like an old wound reopening. The old man's story wasn't just history, it was a mirror. The park grew quieter, joggers fading into the twilight, and Elias spoke of returning home a changed man. He married his sweetheart, Lila, whose laughter was like sunlight breaking through clouds. They built a life in the city, 2 kids, a modest house, nights stargazing from the backyard. Lila loved the sky. Elias said softly, his voice cracking. "She'd say it was God's way of reminding us we're small but connected. We'd watch meteor showers, holding hands, dreaming of forever." But then came the twist in his tale. Cancer stole Lila slowly, her final days spent in a hospital bed, gazing out the window at the heavens. On her last night, she made me promise to keep looking up for her, for us. "The sky holds our stories," she whispered. And then she was gone. Tears welled in Elias's eyes, and Alex, moved beyond words, placed a hand on the old man's shoulder, feeling the fragility of life in that simple touch. Yet Elias wasn't done. He spoke of raising his children alone, the joys and heartbreaks she's son becoming a doctor, his daughter an artist, both now scattered across the country with families of their own. "They call sometimes," he admitted, "but life's busy. I understand. I sit here every evening, watching the sky change, remembering." Alex nodded, his own regrets surfacing. A divorce 2 years ago, a son he saw only on weekends, a career that consumed him. The old man's words stirred something profound, a yearning for connection in a world of isolation. As dusk settled, Elias pointed again. "See that streak of light? A shooting star. Make a wish, son." Alex closed his eyes, wishing for time for second chances. The conversation flowed like a river, Elias sharing anecdotes that painted vivid pictures. The first moon landing viewed on a grainy TV, him and Lila dancing under a full moon, the birth of his grandchildren via video call during the pandemic. Each story carried Kitch's tinted fear of loss, the triumph of endurance and a deep humanity, emphasizing forgiveness, love, and the beauty in impermanence. Alex found himself opening up, confessing his failures as a father, the emptiness of success without meaning. "I've been chasing the wrong stars," he admitted, voice thick with emotion. Suddenly, a young woman approached the bench, her face illuminated by the fading light. She was in her 20s, with Elias's eyes and a warm smile. "Grandpa, I've been looking for you," she exclaimed, hugging him tightly. This was Mia, his granddaughter, the twist Alex hadn't seen coming. She wasn't just a passerby. She'd been sent by the family to check on him. But her arrival shifted everything. Mia joined them, sharing her own perspective, how Elias's stories had inspired her to become an astronomer, studying the very skies he revered. "He doesn't tell you the half of it," she laughed, but her eyes held worry. "Grandpa's been forgetting things lately, Alzheimer's creeping in. But the sky? He never forgets that." The revelation hit Alex like a thunderclap, adding layers of poignancy. Elias's urgency wasn't just nostalgia, but a race against fading memory. Mia's presence amplified the emotions, her youthful optimism contrasting Elias's weathered wisdom. She recounted family gatherings where Elias would gather everyone to stargaze, teaching them about constellations as metaphors for life, how stars, though distant, form patterns that guide us. Alex listened, enthralled, as the trio watched the first stars emerge. The twist deepened the narrative, highlighting generational bonds and the fear of loss, making the human values shine brighter: empathy, legacy, and the power of shared moments. As night fully enveloped the park, Elias's voice grew softer, weaving in philosophical musings. "The sky's infinite, some like our capacity for kindness. We've all got storms, but look up, and you'll find light." Alex felt transformed, the hook of that initial plea now a lifeline. He promised to visit his son that weekend, to look at the sky together. Mia smiled gratefully, and Elias patted Alex's hand. "Strangers no more," he murmured. But the evening wasn't over. Elias had one more story, about a meteor shower in his youth that changed his fate. Elias's eyes sparkled under the emerging stars as he continued, his voice a gentle rumble against the night's hush. It was 1957, the Perseids at their peak. I was 25, working in a factory, feeling trapped like a bird in a cage. Lila and I were courting then, stealing kisses under that same sky. He paused, lost in reverie, and Alex leaned in, captivated by the unfolding saga. Mia squeezed her grandfather's arm, encouraging him, her presence a bridge between past and present. The story unfolded with vivid detail. Elias sneaking out with Lila to a hilltop, blankets spread, the sky exploding in streaks of fire. "One meteor burned brighter than the rest," he said, emotion swelling. "It felt like a sign. That night, I proposed to her right there, ring in my pocket from savings I'd scraped. She said yes, tears mixing with laughter. But the kitchen built, a sudden storm rolled in, lightning cracking like judgment, forcing them to run for cover. In the chaos, Elias twisted his ankle, and Lila carried him partway, her strength surprising them both. That night taught me love isn't just stars, it's weathering the storms together." Alex nodded, thinking of his ex-wife, the arguments that had eclipsed their good times. As Elias spoke, the park's nocturnal sounds, crickets chirping, distant traffic added to the atmosphere. He transitioned to harder times. The 1960s, civil rights marches where he and Lila stood side by side. The sky over Washington, D.C. a witness to history. "We marched for equality, son, under a blazing sun. Tear gas filled the air, but up there, the sky remained unchanged, reminding us of bigger truths." Mia interjected softly. "Grandpa was arrested once for protesting. He never talks about it, but it shaped him." This personal revelation heightened the tension, painting Elias not as a passive observer, but a quiet hero, his humility underscoring human resilience. The narrative deepened with the birth of their children. Elias described the night his son was born, a blizzard raging outside the hospital, the sky obscured by snow. "I paced the halls, praying, and when the nurse said it's a boy, I stepped out and saw the clouds part, just a glimpse of moon. It was like the universe celebrating." But loss shadowed joy. A miscarriage years later, Lila's grief under a starless night. We sat on our porch, silent, but the sky held us. It doesn't judge, it just is. Alex felt tears prick his eyes, the raw emotion transmitting the value of vulnerability, of sharing pain to heal. Midway through, another unexpected element emerged. A small dog trotted up to the bench, tail wagging, no collar in sight. Mia knelt to pet it, and Elias chuckled. Reminds me of Scout, our old mutt. He came to us lost, just like this one. The dog, whom they temporarily named Lucky, curled at Elias's feet, adding a layer of warmth and whimsy. This auxiliary character shifted the mood momentarily, injecting levity as Elias recounted Scout's antics chasing fireflies under summer skies, comforting the family during tough times. Animals see the sky differently, he mused. No worries, just wonder. Alex, allergic but charmed, saw it as a symbol, unexpected companions in life's journey. The twist with Mia evolved. She confessed her own struggles, a recent breakup, doubts about her career in astronomy. I look at the stars every night, Grandpa, but sometimes they feel so far away. Elias took her hand, his wisdom encompassing generations. That's the beauty, dear. They're far, but their light reaches us. Keep reaching back. This intergenerational dialogue amplified the story's humanity, emphasizing mentorship and the cycle of life. Elias wove in modern reflections. The Challenger explosion in 1986, watched on TV with his kids, the sky suddenly a place of tragedy. We cried for those astronauts, dreaming big, but it reminded us to cherish every moment. He spoke of 9/11, the clear blue sky marred by smoke, how he and Lila volunteered, finding purpose in chaos. Each anecdote built Kitch 10, from highs of achievement to lows of despair, always circling back to the sky as a constant. Alex shared more, the dog Lucky snoring softly adding comic relief. He talked about his deployment, nights in the desert staring at unfamiliar constellations, letters from home, his only stars. I lost friends too, he admitted, voice breaking. Elias nodded knowingly. War changes the sky, makes it seem hostile, but it's the same one over home, connecting us all. As the hours ticked by, the group's bond strengthened. Mia pulled out her phone, showing Elias photos of nebulae she'd captured. See? Your stories inspired this. The old man beamed, pride swelling. But subtle hints of his fading memories surfaced. Repeated a name, hesitated on a date, adding poignant urgency. The twist with Lucky deepened when a jogger claimed him, but not before the dog licked Elias's hand, as if saying goodbye, mirroring life's fleeting encounters. Elias concluded this segment with a profound thought. The sky's a tapestry of lives, yours, mine, everyone's. Don't let it pass unnoticed. Alex felt a surge of gratitude, the emotional weight pressing yet uplifting. Yet there was more to uncover, a deeper secret Elias held. The night deepened, stars twinkling like scattered diamonds, and Elias's voice took on a more introspective tone. There's something I haven't told many, he confessed, glancing at Mia with a mix of love and sorrow. After Lila passed, I saw things in the skylights, shapes that no one else did. Alex leaned forward, intrigued, while Mia's expression shifted to concern, her hand tightening on his arm. This revelation promised a twist, blending reality with the ethereal. Elias described his loneliness post-Lila, nights on the same bench, staring upward, grief a heavy cloak. One evening, a year after she left, I saw a glow-not a star, but something moving, pulsing like a heartbeat. He paused, emotion choking him. It hovered, then vanished, but I felt her presence. Was it a UFO? A hallucination? Or her way of saying she's watching? The Kitch 10 built as he recounted subsequent sightings during a family crisis when his son battled addiction, the sky lighting up as if guiding him through calls and interventions. I drove all night to reach him, and above the highway, that light led the way. Alex, skeptical yet moved, wondered if it was metaphor or miracle, the story's humanity lying in belief's power to heal. Mia interjected, her voice soft but firm. Grandpa, we've talked about this. The doctors say it's the medication, or maybe. She trailed off, but Elias waved her off gently. I know what I saw, dear, and it gave me hope. This family dynamic added layers, highlighting the clash between science and faith, youth and age. Alex, drawing from his own losses, empathized. Sometimes, we need those mysteries to keep going. The narrative expanded to Elias's later years, retiring from his job as a teacher, where he'd inspired students with sky lore. I'd take classes outside, point to the heavens, say your future's up there, reach for it. But isolation crept in as friends passed, children moved away. The bench became his sanctuary, the sky his companion. He shared a heart-wrenching tale of his daughter's wedding under a canopy of stars, him walking her down the aisle, whispering Lila's words. She was there, in the breeze, in the light. Tears flowed freely now, the group's shared vulnerability forging unbreakable bonds. An unexpected auxiliary character appeared, a homeless veteran named Tom, shuffling by with a worn backpack. He paused, drawn by Elias's voice. Mind if I listen? The sky's been my roof too long. Welcomed warmly, Tom added his perspective. Nights in Vietnam, the sky a barrage of flares, then years on streets, stargazing for solace. Lost my family, but up there? It's free. His story paralleled Elias's, emphasizing themes of redemption and community. Alex, touched, offered Tom his jacket, the act a small but profound gesture of humanity. Tom's presence twisted the narrative further. He recognized Elias from a VA meeting years ago. You spoke there once about hope after war. Changed my view. This coincidence amplified the emotional impact, showing how one life ripples into others. The four now Elias, Alex, Mia, Tom formed an impromptu circle, sharing under the cosmos. Elias continued, detailing a recent health scare. A heart attack last winter, waking in hospital to a window view of aurora-like lights. Doctors saved me, but the sky called me back. The conversation turned philosophical, Elias pondering mortality. We're all strangers under the same sky, sun. But look up, and we're connected past, present, future. Alex confessed his fears, aging alone, regretting missed moments with his son. Mia shared her anxiety about Elias's declining health, vowing to visit more. Tom, emboldened, spoke of seeking shelter, inspired to reconnect with kin. As midnight neared, Elias revealed a keepsakea faded photo of Lila, sky in background. She'd want you all to remember, life's short, but love's eternal. The group's emotions peaked, hugs exchanged, promises made. Tom departed with Alex's number, a new friend found. But Elias had one final, profound disclosure lurking. The stars wheeled overhead as Elias drew a deep breath, his final revelations unfolding like the night itself. The real reason I asked you to look up, son, he said to Alex, is because you're not a stranger, not entirely. Mia's eyes widened, and Alex froze, the air thick with anticipation. This ultimate twist hung heavy, promising to reshape everything. Elias explained, decades ago, during his teaching days, he'd mentored a troubled boy, Alex's father. He was angry, lost after his own war. I took him stargazing, taught him the sky's lessons. He turned his life around, became the man who raised you. Alex's mind reeled. His father, deceased now, had often spoken of a teacher who showed him the stars. The connection hit like a comet. Elias wasn't random. Fate, or the sky, had brought them together. Tears streamed down Alex's face, the emotional crescendo overwhelming. You saved him. And now me. This disclosure infused the story with profound humanity, illustrating legacy's invisible threads. Elias elaborated. Letters from Alex's father over the years, updates on his son's birth, Alex himself. I followed from afar, proud. But time slipped away. Mia, learning this anew, hugged Elias tighter, her admiration deepening. The twist emphasized forgiveness, Elias regretting not reaching out sooner, Alex absolving past distances. With the group united, Elias wrapped his tale, recent days blurred by memory lapses, but the sky anchoring him. It's calling me home soon, he admitted softly, gazing up. But I've passed the watch to you all. Alex vowed to honor it, planning family stargazing nights. Mia promised daily calls, her career renewed with purpose. Even Tom, lingering nearby, felt included, the night's magic touching him. The story's climax built as a meteor shower began, streaks illuminating faces. Elias pointed, voice triumphant. See? The sky delivers. They watched in awe, emotions swirling joy, sorrow, gratitude. Alex whispered thanks, feeling reborn. As dawn hinted on the horizon, Elias smiled contentedly. Remember, look Yupilways. The group parted with hugs, hearts forever linked. In the end, the sky held their stories, a testament to human connection, resilience, and the beauty of shared wonder.